Hey, exhausted professional. I am so glad that you came and you joined me here on the Mastermind Challenge today. Together, we are going to discover the latest medical advances and the number one root cause of your energy loss, your brain fog, and all those other chronic symptoms. Things that are leading to diabetes, thyroid disease, and autoimmunity. And I'm here to teach you how to ignite that cellular energy and your brain power. And we really can do this with the latest science of precision healthcare, using the latest science of cellular regeneration, longevity and anti-aging, epigenetics, mitochondrial bioenergetics, nutrigenomics, and so much more I have to teach you today. So, what really is precision healthcare, and why are organizations suddenly investing billions in it? Well, because it's the latest science and it really does work. And as you can see from this Forbes article, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, our own American CDC, describes precision health in detail. And basically, it involves using your genes, your lifestyle behaviors, such as exercise, nutrition, and all of those different environmental factors, like your toxins, your invisible infections, all of these things. And we know that these things dramatically affect your health, and therefore you have control over them. So this is proven science. And the truth is that if you want things to change in your life, you're going to have to change things in your life, and I'm here to teach you how. So here's my big, hairy, audacious promise to you today. I honestly do have your answers. I have the evidence-based solutions that bring real and lasting results, and I'm not going to waste your time today. So if you're a burnt out professional and you're struggling with energy loss and brain fog and other symptoms that you feel are limiting you, then you definitely need just 3 things from me today. First of all, you need to know why these things are happening to you. The truth behind your loss of energy, your loss of brain power, loss of productivity, loss of your feeling of vitality. You need to stop wasting time and money with the antiquated conventional dogmas that only create worse health outcomes. And I think most people nowadays who are educated understand that this is the truth. And then second, I want to teach you how to shift from that 19th century medicine that we're all stuck in today. And I want to bring you into the 21st century with precision health. I want you to learn how to harness the power of the latest scientific discoveries to dramatically change your health and your longevity and health span. And finally, you need to find your unique root causes at the cellular level, at the mitochondrial level, at the genetic level, the hormonal level, the neuroimmunological level. Okay, we've got so much to teach you today. And I know it might sound just a little overwhelming to start, but please bear with me because I'm going to make it easy for you to understand, and you're going to learn so much. You're going to walk away from this meeting today knowing that you now have the answers to change your health. All right. So first of all, let's look at the difference between the way we have been doing medicine and the new way that you can do if you choose to. Okay, first of all, the way we're doing it now, it's 50 years old and older. It's old school dogmas. It's symptom based. It's big pharma required. It has numerous side effects which cause ongoing cellular and genetic and tissue damage and brain damage. It actually creates higher inflammation the longer you practice this, and you feel labeled with a diagnosis of a disease. You feel stuck. You're told that you're incurable. You're confused as to how to make any possible changes. And the longer you go on like this, the worse and worse your body gets, and the more and more pharmaceutical medications your doctor starts giving you. And you feel like you're stuck, like you have no control over this. However, you do have control. You do have a choice. You can start learning, and that's what you're here today for. to learn the new precision science. This is a root cause focus rather than a symptom focus. It removes or at least greatly reduces your need for big pharma. It up levels your energy. It improves your brain functioning and cognition. It enhances your mood. It actually regenerates your cells. It improves your epigenetics. I'm going to teach you what that means in just a little bit. It creates new tissues and cells. Can you believe this? It's really true. It lowers your inflammation and what we call inflammaging now. And I know you're going to want to turn this off when you hear me say this, but this is really true. It actually reverses your biological age. It reduces your disease risk. It reduces your risk of cancer. It creates strength emotionally. You feel joy and purpose because you feel better. And why? Because now you're the CEO of your health. You are in complete control. Now, I want to ask you before we move on, which paradigm would you rather operate your health in? And I think we know the answer. So before we go any further, let me explain to you who I am in case you haven't seen me before. My name is Dorinda Smith, and I own the Cellular Healing and Longevity Center here in San Diego, California. And I am a research immunotoxicologist and a medical scientist. I did my work at the NIH. It was NIH funded, and that was my PhD fellowship with the NIEHS and Duke University Medical Center. And I'm specialized in autoimmunity and chronic illness. I have 28 years of medical detective experience. I am also a licensed holistic practitioner with the Professional Wellness Alliance. I have reversed my own 7 deadly autoimmune conditions, and I've helped thousands to learn how to optimize their health. And of course, as I mentioned, I do partner with many other, actually thousands of doctors and scientists and other health professionals like me with the Professional Wellness Alliance. And our whole goal is to transform lives and change the face of healthcare as we know it. And so it's my passionate mission to empower you with knowledge today. I want you to learn how to achieve that vibrant energy that you used to feel. I want you to live in your God-given purpose and walk in passion and joy. And before we go any further, I want to just give you some information from some of our clients who are pretty happy. This is Scott. He's from Malibu, California. And he says, Dory saved my life. And actually, I would say he saved his own life because he made a positive choice for his health. He says, I'm a Hollywood stuntman and professional surfer. I was misdiagnosed by USC. I was withering away and dying, but within a month, Dory found my root causes and started my precision protocols. She was brilliant, collaborative, and always there when I needed her. Thank you, Scott. He says within 12 months, he was back by 80%. Within 18 months, he felt 100% better. And he says, now I wonder where she hides her wings. As I write this, tears come to my eyes. He's a tough dude. And I've seen this man cry because of the results that we were able to get for him. These results are absolutely possible for you too. So I want to tell you my own personal nightmare story, and I won't take too long to do this because you need to know that I'm not just a scientist with a lot of experience and a lot of book learning. I have actually been through very severe autoimmune disease and chronic illness, and I've come out on the other side. When people say that that's impossible, people say that all these diseases that I had were incurable, and I'm here to tell you that that's just no longer true. That's not the scientific truth any longer. And so what happened with me is I was 13 years into my career as a research medical scientist, and I was doing great. I had authored 5 papers. I had finished my master's degree while I was working in the field. I worked while I was in school the entire time, while raising my family, while being a wife and mother. So I was definitely burning the candles at all ends. And I had finished my master's degree. I'd finished my PhD fellowship at the NIEHS. I was writing my thesis and finishing and getting ready to defend when I started having really horrible symptoms. And they were this, horrible symptoms, change your life symptoms. And so within about 3 years, I was positively diagnosed as having 3 different autoimmune diseases to start, including scleroderma, fibromyalgia, and the beginnings of lupus. And then over the course of another year, I developed very severe arthritis, Crohn's disease. Of course, they're going back and forth between IBS, IBD, Crohn's. Then it became Addison's disease. And I just had it was like one after another. Every time I went to the doctor, I was getting another diagnosis. And sadly, my entire life just fell apart at that point. I tried to hang on for a while, but I couldn't. And, my PhD advisors were like, just take a year off, just rest. And everybody just thought that, that I was just burnt out, right? But no, within 3 years, I had all of these diagnoses. It was just crazy. It was like my entire body was just falling apart at the seams. And then my entire life fell apart at the seams because here I was. I'm a scientist. I'm specialized in autoimmunity. Oh my gosh. Now I have 7 autoimmune diseases. How am I supposed to go on? And what about that $200,000 worth of education that I just spent, 13 years accruing? What about all this? And what is my life going to become now? It was a horrible identity crisis. Within less than a year, my husband couldn't handle it either, and he left the family. But I had this beautiful baby granddaughter that I was taking care of. And so then it was just me and her. And here I was, sick as a dog. And I had to keep going. Okay. I had to take care of her. I had to keep going. And so I did. And of course, they started putting me on all the different medications. And before I knew it, I was on a daily cocktail of anywhere between 12 and 20 different pharmaceutical medications. And then I was still sick. They didn't work that great. Okay, they helped, but they didn't work that great. And I continued to get worse and worse. And I lived like this for 14 years. And what's interesting is all the specialists, even my own training, I had like 5 different specialists. They all said the same thing. They all said, well, you'll be lucky to live about 10 years with all of this. And so just, get your house in order, right? They all said the same thing. Well, I lasted about 14 years, which, everybody thought was pretty incredible at the time. But I was really close to that place where I thought I was really dying. I was so sick every single day. And what happened was something pretty miraculous. I found my hope. And I found it with precision healthcare, of course. That's why I'm sitting here talking to you about this today. It literally saved my life. And why? Because it's a very precise approach. It's the latest scientific evidence-based healthcare, and it's based on my personal exposome. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you what that means in just a little bit. It's basically just all the different things that you're exposed to in your environment. And it also dealt with my own personal specific root causes that had been in my body for decades, and my own unique genetics and epigenetics, my own unique microbiome. And that's why it worked. And my life completely transformed. And it was a beautiful thing. Now I am in complete control over those 7 autoimmune diseases. I have abundant energy, muscle strength, and mitochondrial functioning, which is very, very important. I have reversed all that crazy brain fog and the loss of motivation and all the anxiety and depression and PTSD that comes with chronic illness. It's all gone now. I've eliminated my dependence on meds. And get this, I am no longer on even one pharmaceutical medication today. I have erased my pain and my limitations. I have absolutely optimized my cellular functioning, my epigenetic functioning, and all of those immune biomarkers. I have totally reset my gut microbiome, and I was able to lose 100 pounds by getting off all that medication, by changing my diet, by working on my gut microbiome health. It's pretty awesome. I have reversed my metabolic dysfunction and my fatty liver disease. I have reversed all those unique root causes that were the reason why I got sick in the first place. So those things like those invisible infections, the Epstein-Barr virus, those gut overgrowths, the parasites, all those types of things, and I had plenty of them. I reversed my insomnia, which used to be absolutely horrible. I mean, I would go a couple of days and then without sleeping and then crash and do it all over again. And life was hell back then. But I also had to remove my toxicities. And this is a major part of getting well that we can't forget about. We've got to get rid of those heavy metals and the plastics and the glyphosates and all those chemical poisons that we've stored up in our body all these years. And now that was 7 years ago that I healed, and we're in 2024 right now. And so for the past 7 years, I've now been able to help thousands of people to take control of their health, just like I did. I got my life and my career back. I came off of 15 years of Social Security disability, and people almost never do that, okay? But I did because I used precision healthcare. And then God was the one who really started my mission, True Wellness Today, and the Cellular Healing and Longevity Center. And this mission is all about helping our clients to achieve those dramatic, life-changing results and live the lives of purpose that God created them for. And that's just awesome. So me and my clients were always saying, woo, 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 because when you feel better, your entire life changes. And you certainly can use the latest science to feel better now. This is a picture, it's not a very good picture, but it's a picture of me and my family at Christmas time this year. And this is my granddaughter now, all grown up. And this is my daughter feeling better today because she's using precision healthcare too to turn her life around. And, it's just, it started off as a nightmare story, but it ended up as just this amazing God story that the Lord brought my life from. I've always been a weird little molecular geek my whole life. Even as a little girl, they knew that I was a little different, and so I've always been that geek scientist personality. And then the Lord actually allowed me to go to school when really no one else in my family had that higher education. And then, I was able to do all these wonderful things with my career, right? All the right doors opened for me to be at Duke and the NIEHS, and I was trained by amazing people. But then the whole nightmare happened and my life fell apart. And I thought, I really did, that was the end, because that's what I was taught in conventional medicine. But I found out now that that's not really true. And we really can use the latest science to completely change our lives. So folks, if you don't feel good, never put God in a box, because you just don't even know what he has planned for your life. And I'm glad you're here today, so you can learn about this new movement that we have. So here I am with all these amazing, famous people in precision and functional medicine. This is the father of functional medicine, Jeffrey Bland. This is Jonathan Otto and Dan Pompa and Josh Axe and a bunch of my friends from there, and Tom O'Brien and Terry Walls and all these amazing people. These are world-renowned experts. And together, we are revolutionizing our broken sick care system. We are bringing groundbreaking science back to the forefront so that you can use it, so that the average people can get well. And we're empowering you with this knowledge and this truth so you can take full control of your life and be the CEO of your health without limitations. And so I want to tell you about another one of our clients, Dr. Dorothy, and she's a molecular pathologist, and she wound up developing severe and disabling scleroderma, a lot like me, only hers was even worse than mine. And she says, as a doctor, I was never taught the root causes of my autoimmune disease or how to reverse it. I believed I was incurable. And it took a scientist and medical detective like Dory to find my root causes and correct them using the latest science. And she says, Dory's program has changed my life. My symptoms are now 75% corrected, and I'm still getting better. Isn't that awesome? So now let's get into the meat of our talk today. I want to teach you the number one root cause of your energy loss. You need to know the new science behind the evolution of medicine. You need to know why you are having your symptoms. And I'm going to teach you the 5 basic steps that cause chronic illness, symptoms, and autoimmunity. And it doesn't have to be autoimmunity, just so you know, okay? Autoimmunity is like the end result, but it's like a lot of chronic symptoms, and then you can develop autoimmunity or thyroid disease or diabetes or any of these other conditions. Then you can develop heart disease. Then you can develop Alzheimer's by the end of it, okay? It's just a big mess, but it all boils down to similar things in the beginning that you can take control of and start turning those things around, okay? So I want to teach you how to fix this. I want to teach you the 4 action steps that you can get started on today. 600,000 research studies cannot be wrong, okay? This is proven evidence-based science. This is not woo-woo. So let's go over some of this pretty quickly. Here from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, latest study came out that said that only 12% of American adults are metabolically healthy, okay? That should shock you. You think you're healthy, you're probably not. Let's talk about why. And it has to do with the new science of metabolic bioenergetics. And this has to do with your mitochondrial cells, those little energy powerhouses within all of your cells. Now, these are critical for producing your ATP and your energy for all of your cellular functions. Metabolic and mitochondrial dysfunction is the first step of your energy loss and all disease. I'm going to say that again, just in case your attention went a little sideways. Please hear me say this. Metabolic and mitochondrial dysfunction is the first step of your energy loss, and we know now scientifically it's the first step of all disease processes. And so metabolic bioenergetics is the study of keeping the mitochondrial healthy so that you can have that abundant energy and brain function. This, the mitochondria, is our most important cell to protect. So let's look at this article in the New Science of Health. And it basically says that metabolic dysfunction and chronic inflammation are the main root causes of your disease. And what's it say? It says it underlies not just senescence, which is the deterioration that we find with age, but all chronic illness that often comes along with it. So it's that metabolic dysfunction and the chronic inflammation that it causes that is actually causing your brain fog and your cognition issues and your vitality issues and your energy loss and the diabetes and the thyroid disease and the heart disease, the Alzheimer's, the cognitive dysfunction, premature aging, even cancer, even autism, okay? So, and this came out of Discover magazine. So, look, this is Dr. Peter Diamandis and Tony Robbins, And look, there's some of the top people in the world who are using precision health. Okay, we have to use these strategies that promote longevity now and in the very near future to help our chronic problem, this epidemic problem that we have with chronic illness. We've got to put an end to this, folks. And all it takes is you learning how. And you kind of have to be living under a rock not to see everything about precision and functional and holistic health. I mean, Dr. Oz talks about it and talks about metabolic dysfunction and inflammation causing heart attacks and strokes and even cancer. Dr. Barry Sears says metabolic dysfunction and inflammation is the underlying cause of all disease. Dr. Walter Willett, metabolic dysfunction and inflammation sets the stage for cardiovascular disease, strokes, arterial disease, right? Even dementia. Martin Pall, metabolic dysfunction and inflammation are the 10th paradigm of medicine that explains all other paradigms. I mean, and I could go on and on and on, but we don't have time for that. So I want to just give you a few more pieces of evidence to help you be convinced that what I'm talking about here today is not woo-woo. It's not snake oil. It is the latest science, and you need to open your eyes and you need to start learning this so that you can feel better. You are not stuck in your disease process. There are things that you can do to feel amazingly better. Here's an article in Genes Development, Chronic Tissue Inflammation and Metabolic Disease. It's the main underlying driver. Metabolic syndrome and autophagy, a focus on this particular HMGB1 protein. This is some really cool science. And guess what? You have control over that protein and its expression just with your nutrition, your lifestyle factors, and your supplementation. It's just that easy, folks. Impaired sensitivity to thyroid hormones is associated with diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome, autoimmunity, and rheumatic diseases, they all come together, folks. Post-acute sequelae of COVID-19, a metabolic perspective. Hello? We all know this by now. We know that the people who had the worst outcomes with COVID-19 were the ones who also had underlying metabolic dysfunction and mitochondrial disorder. All right. So now that I've convinced you that it all boils down to metabolic dysfunction and mitochondrial disorder, now I want to start telling you how to fix it. And that's with the new science of cellular regeneration, longevity, and anti-aging. So what is all this? This is the field that billionaire investors are investing in right now because it is the latest science. It's critical for optimal health, brain function, and cancer prevention. This is the natural cellular recycling process. And we do that, we kill off our own cells and replace them at about 300 million per minute. Autophagy, or mitophagy for mitochondrial cells, actually kills off all the old cells, the ones that are producing a lot of extra inflammation because they're old and they just don't work right and they got problems, okay? We want cellular regeneration to happen. We want those cells to be killed off with autophagy or mitophagy so that we can produce brand new cells that are hopefully healthier and functioning better than the ones that you just killed off. And when you're able to do that with good nutrition, with good lifestyle practices, with supplementation and many other things, then you will prevent disease. You will slow down aging. You will enhance your energy, your vitality, and your joy. And look at this. Most people are not aware of this, but you need to be. There were several studies done, and this is the main one, where it found that the latest science is actually an average of 17 years ahead of where your doctor is practicing medicine right now. Meaning that you have the answers within the science right now to do dramatic things for your health. However, your doctor is not telling you about them because he doesn't know about them either, because he was not taught them in medical school. Okay. And so you really need to open your eyes, wake up, and start learning what you can do. All right. So now I want to get into another way to fix your energy level and your vitality and your overall health. And that's with the new science of epigenetics. So this is a study of the way your genes actually express their proteins, which is the basics of life, okay? Your genes interact with your environmental triggers, which is your exposome. Remember, I told you that word before? And your environment basically controls how your genes express. There is constant surveillance going on. Your DNA, your genes are constantly surveying your environment. And your expression, your genes expressing their proteins, whether that's good and it creates health, or whether that's bad and it creates disease, this actually changes from moment to moment. So you are in way more control of your health than you even realize. And what we can do now with the latest science is we can create very personalized health plans that work with your unique genetics and your unique exposome. And this ensures a faster and more effective and a more lasting health solution compared to traditional or basic medicine. And it's even better than the functional medicine that people used to do even 5 or 10 years ago. That's how fast the science is changing. And it's really amazing. So here's an article in Time. And it's all about your DNA and your genes no longer being your destiny like we used to believe. The article goes on to say the genes are not the source of most chronic illnesses, not even cancer, folks, okay? Instead of our genes, it's really our lifestyle and our environment that accounts to 90 to 95% of our most chronic illnesses. Okay, and so this is truth, guys. This is the science, and you need to learn it and you need to believe it. Here's another article about epigenetics, microRNA, and metabolic syndrome. This is a comprehensive review article all about the fact that, hey, it's the metabolic syndrome and the environment that you're exposed to that is causing your genes to express in a negative way. And that is what is at the basis of your health conditions. But I want you to have hope, because this is fixable, folks. You do have great control over this. You just have to learn how to do it. Here's another article, Programming Axonal Mitochondrial Maintenance and Bioenergetics in Neurodegeneration and Regeneration. I know I just said a mouthful. Okay, let me explain to you what this article is all about. Basically, it boils down to things that cause your brain fog, your cognition to go a little screwy, for you to forget where you parked the car or where you left your keys. That's not old age, folks. That's mitochondrial dysfunction. But you can fix it with cellular regeneration practices. That's what this article is all about. So, and literally, I'm just showing you just the tip of the iceberg, because I don't have time to show you everything, okay? You need to know that it is possible for you to feel amazingly better using all this science that I'm telling you about today. And so now I want to tell you the new science of nutrigenomics. This is how we take what I was just telling you and apply it to your life. It's the study of how your food affects your genetic expression. Okay, so your food is part of your exposome, everything that you are exposed to, right? Because every time you put something in your mouth, guess what? You're exposing yourself to nutrients, yes, but you're also exposing yourself to a lot of toxins. And so what you need to do is you need to learn how to harness this cutting edge epigenetic science so that we can create customized nutrition plans for you that are based on your personal genetic deficiencies and your personal genetic needs. It is a game changer. And it's the foundational level of what you must do in order to start getting your health back. So in case you didn't hear me say that, let me say it again. Starting right here at the nutrigenomic level is the most important thing. It's the most important first step that you can take in order to get your health back. And it's not hard, really. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. And the sad thing is, and especially me as a scientist, I just shake my head. I'm like, wait a minute. Even if you go to a functional doctor or you go to a functionally practicing chiropractor, and especially if you go to a conventional doctor, they will never, almost never talk to you about a full genetics panel, or they might talk to you about the MTHFR or the COMT, but that's about as far as they go. They don't really go deep and do full nutrigenomic and epigenetic testing for you. And therefore, they don't give you everything that you need in order to really start correcting your health at the bottom line foundational level. And this is what you absolutely must do in order to get your health back. And that's why people will see functional doctors and they'll start to feel better, but they might not get the results that they really want. And that's because they're missing this whole nutrigenomic and epigenomic piece of their health puzzle. And so this is where you really do need to start. And let's look at this paper, Western diet as a trigger of Alzheimer's disease. And it starts with metabolic syndrome and the whole systemic chronic inflammation thing. And that then triggers the neuroinflammation and the neurodegeneration that is the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. And you need to know that this is common knowledge now, that if you've got metabolic syndrome, you are at the very beginning stages of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease if you live long enough. Okay, so we really need to get in there with those genetics and those foundational principles and turn the metabolic syndrome around at its bottom line fundamental level and stop playing around with just, okay, let's work on the gut. Okay, yeah, it goes deeper than that. It really, really does. So I still want to talk to you about the new science of the microbiome, because yes, of course, everything kind of starts in the gut, and the gut is like, the main hub, okay? But it does go deeper than that. And so first, before I get ahead of myself here, let's talk about what the gut microbiome is. I think most people know this by now. It's pretty common knowledge, but just in case, you have trillions of beneficial little bugs, little microorganisms that live in your guts and all throughout your body, not just your gut. They're on your skin, they're in your eyes, they're everywhere in your body. And we used to think that our bodies were pretty much sterile, but they're definitely not. All these trillions of little bugs and bacteria and viruses and protozoa and all these little things, they are proven to have a major role in your brain health, in your immune function, and of course, in your overall health. And of course, they have a lot to do with your digestion and your ability to absorb your nutrients into the cells. And if you don't absorb nutrients into the cells, you're going to be a mess, right? Your cells aren't going to have everything that they need. And this is really what's leading to problems with the thyroid, problems with your hormones, problems with sexual health, being able to reproduce, and the horrible infertility problem that we have now with our young people is really caused from this whole metabolic syndrome that is affecting the gut microbiome, that is then affecting their ability to reproduce and have healthy babies. But it also has everything to do with your brain health, your emotional health, your mental health. And it also has everything to do with balancing and reversing disease processes. And if you nurture your gut microbiome and you correct all the underlying problems that are throwing it off, then you will prevent disease in the future. And that is amazing. That's kind of old school knowledge now. Okay. Let's look at this a little bit though. There are still people out there who don't know that leaky gut and leaky brain are basically one in the same thing. And that if you have metabolic dysfunction, and what did I show you previously? That basically 88% of people are walking around having some degree and some severe degree of metabolic dysfunction, then that means that you also have leaky gut, you also have a gut microbiome imbalance, you also have leaky brain. You also have, that's what's causing your brain fog, your loss of energy, your loss of cognition, your feeling of lack of motivation. This is what's causing it, but you can fix it. This slide I love showing to people. This was an amazing study that came out in 2020 and basically showed that all of these different very severe neurologic disorders, really bad things like schizophrenia and Alzheimer's and autism, even Parkinson's and MS, and all of these terrible diseases have everything to do with the health of your gut microbiome. And of course, now we know that it's the metabolic dysfunction that we can control that is actually causing the gut dysbiosis and then going on to cause all these terrible diseases. And what this study showed is that you could take people with these horrible diseases and you could actually bring them amazing and dramatic health relief from their symptoms simply by working on that metabolic disorder and that gut dysbiosis. A beautiful study. All right, here's another one that shows that fasting actually alters the gut microbiome. It reduces blood pressure, body weight, and it corrects metabolic syndrome in patients. Here's another one. Gut microbiome and health and disease, linking the microbiome, gut, brain axis, and those environmental factors in the pathogenesis of systemic and neurodegenerative diseases. So what did I just say? I just said that it's that mitochondrial dysfunction that leads to a gut problem, that leads to a brain problem that is causing a lot of your problems. Look at this one. This is the link between sleep, the gut, and that metabolic dysfunction and cancer. How about this one? People think that eating gluten is just, going gluten-free is just a fad. No, it's not. Gluten sensitivity is really affecting your gut and also affecting your brain health. And so now what I would love to do is I would love to put all of this together for you. I know that I basically hit you with a fire hose at this point, and I just thrown a lot of information at you. And what I would like to do is wrap it up into one nice bubble that you can think about and think, oh, okay, I really can take care of my health. Let's look at how disease starts. All those symptoms that you're feeling right now, this is how they started. They first started with the mitochondrial and metabolic dysfunction. Something upset your mitochondria, and now you have a reduced ability to produce energy. You don't detoxify well. You don't regenerate your cells well. And if you are regenerating your cells, you're regenerating them with toxic factors, so they're no better than the old ones that you just killed off. And therefore, you're decreasing your nutrient ability to get inside of the cell. That's really right there, in a nutshell, that's how it all started. But then what happens? You've got all these different triggers, all these different environmental triggers, the toxins, the poor nutrition practices, the stress, the poor lifestyle practices. These are directly killing your mitochondria and causing that mitochondrial and metabolic dysfunction. And why is that happening? Because all of these things are directly affecting the way your genes express. Okay, this is it, folks. It's really not that hard. Okay, What happens then is now your genes start expressing proteins that cause cellular damage, that cause tissue damage, that cause organ damage. And what happens then? You start feeling it. You start feeling all these various different symptoms. You're tired, your brain isn't functioning, you don't have the motivation you used to have. You've got symptoms in your gut, headaches, rashes, all kinds of crazy things start happening, pain of all kinds. Then what happens after that? You start having the whole gut and immune dysfunction problem. Whenever you don't have healthy mitochondria, you have energy loss throughout all of your cells, and it affects all of your cells when they don't have the energy that they need. And so now this is impacting those trillions of cells, not only your own cells, but all those trillions of cells in your gut microbiome don't have everything that they need either. And this is what's directly leading to the immune problems that we are seeing. And this is the main reason why people are not being able to recover properly from COVID-19 or many other chronic infections that people are suffering from. It's not just this long haul COVID syndrome thing, okay? Autoimmunity now and chronic illness now is well known as having certain toxic factors and certain bugs that just get out of whack. And we know that all we have to do is balance them and people feel amazingly better. And of course, finally, what happens when you've got all these problems, that chronic inflammation sets in. This is that silent killer that continues long term. And this is what is causing all the more severe symptoms and the severe diseases, and then finally death. So you can stop this problem right here by learning how to use the latest science and turn it all around. Now, I know that I gave you a ton of information and I probably really blew your mind out of the water today. Let's make it just a little bit easier to understand. What have you learned with me today? You've learned that metabolic dysfunction is now known scientifically as the very first step in nearly all chronic symptoms, including your loss of energy, your brain fog, and all chronic disease. Metabolic dysfunction is 100% reversible, folks, and it must be corrected in order for you to turn this whole disease process around and for you to have optimal energy and optimal health. Now, the science of precision healthcare helps you to find those unique root causes of your metabolic dysfunction. It helps you to reverse your chronic inflammation, and therefore it helps you to erase your symptoms. And precision healthcare is using the newest scientific discoveries that's found in the sciences of mitochondrial bioenergetics, cellular regeneration, longevity, anti-aging, epigenetics, nutrigenomics, and there's so much more that I haven't even told you about. And what can this do for you? This can make dramatic, lifelong health results. What does that mean? It means that you can heal. You truly can get better. And now, let's get real, okay? I'm not promising that you're going to be 100% better next month, okay? That's not possible. But wow, with the latest science that we have, we can help you get an average of 50 to 80% better. And many people get even more better results than that, okay? And so here's another article. If you still need convincing, this is in JAMA. This is the top scientific paper in the world. And what did they find? They found that when people decide that they're going to start using what they called then the functional medicine model of care, now we call it precision healthcare, that they got significantly better. And this was a huge study, over 7,000 people. And I could show you lots of papers like this. Here's another one, systems biology and the future of medicine. That future is here right now. So, like, I think the number one question that people ask when I tell them the truth about the latest science is, why hasn't my doctor told me any of this? And it's a sad fact of conventional medicine. And I would definitely refer you to a YouTube video by Dr. Casey Means, and you will learn all about the different problems and controversies with big pharma and how they control the medical schools and how they don't make money if you learn how to take care of your own health. If you start using the latest science, you will be the CEO of your own health. You probably won't need your doctor very often, and you certainly won't need most of those big pharma medications. And so there is a problem, but there's also a problem in the fact that the latest science is advancing faster than what your doctor is learning right now. And remember that they operate under a completely different old school paradigm that's big pharma and insurance controlled. And the new science is different. The new science is amazing. And yes, things are starting to change. Dr. Mark Hyman he's one of the top functional medicine doctors in the world, and he is lobbying Congress right now. Things are starting to change. Insurance companies are starting. We can use FSA and HSA funds to help pay for our programs and our testing now, which is a huge advance. But these things are just going to take time. Doctors are used to doing things in 10-minute chunks with just their prescription pad and just doing things at the symptom level. And what the science has found is that that's just not good enough. If you really want to help people with their health, people have to be willing to get in there, to change their nutrition, to change their lifestyle practices, to learn how to take better care of their bodies. And so I think most people understand that there's just we're in the evolution of medicine right now. That's what that article was about when I told you that the science is an average of 17 years ahead of the way conventional doctors are practicing right now. But the truth is that in our conventions in functional and holistic and precision medicine, we're seeing 40% conventional doctors coming into our conventions to learn all about the latest science and then to start trying to help their own patients with this new science. We're just not there yet. Most people do have to operate outside of the insurance model in order to get their health back right now. So I hope that all answers that question for you. So now I want to really get to what you're looking for today. You want to know how you can actually take action and get rid of that brain fog, get rid of the symptoms that you're dealing with, right? That's why we're here today. So this is what you have to do. And this is not just my paradigm, okay? This is what we know scientifically that people must do in order to get their health back, okay? First, we know that you have to have enough energy in your body. So you need to do the right testing to discover those root causes, all those things that are affecting your mitochondria and killing them and making you feel like crap. You need to do the testing to find those root causes. And then you have to work on your foundation. So that's going back to, remember what I told you before, that you must work at the genetic level. You need to do full comprehensive genetics testing, and then you need to work on learning how to apply the sciences of nutrigenomics and epigenetics, because that's your foundation right there. Your mitochondria cannot be happy if your foundation is not happy. Okay, then step 3 is that we need to clean up all the little messes that we find. We need to clean up those root causes. We need to rebuild and restore what the cells are missing. We need to correct problems at the genetic level so that our cells can have everything that they need for optimal function. And then step 4, we have to remove the really bad things that are stuck in our bodies and that are acting as impediments to our optimal health. And that means that if we find a lot of toxins, or we find invisible infections or gut diseases, or, overgrowths of pathogens and parasites and all these things that people have, trust me, you have them. I mean, we find them in people every day. We've got to get rid of those things because they are creating chronic inflammation, and that's your silent killer. And so you've got to do the work to get rid of those things. And we call that detoxing. But you need to do your detoxing right. If you try to do it with, just going to Dr. Google, you can actually make yourself much worse if you don't know what you're doing. So definitely you need to work with a professional to do this work. And I hope that you can see that this makes sense, doesn't it? If you want to get your health to a better place, you got to find out what those root cause problems are in the first place. The toxins, the bugs, the different infections, the cellular deficiencies, the lifestyle practices, the poor nutrition, all of that. You have to identify it first. Then you must work at the genetic level to help your cells to function properly. You got to clean it all up. You got to do some work. This is not a quick fix. And then you really need to do the deeper work. Once you start cleaning up and giving your cells back what they need, then and only then, when your cells have everything they need to do the job, then you can do the deeper detox work and really get rid of all those exposome things, all of those environmental things, and the toxins and the chemicals and, the bad bugs and all of that. So I hope that when you look at this, you can see that this makes perfect sense, and it does work. It can't not work, okay? This works. All right, so at this point, I know that everything that I've said to you is probably very convincing because it's just all good scientific truth. But then what happens is some people start getting scared and they think, oh, this is going to be too hard. I can't do this, or it's too expensive or whatever. So I want to talk about all that so you can understand that you really can do this. This is the hope that I'm here to give you today. And so first of all, you're a professional. You're either a professional in the workforce, or you're a busy mom and you're organizing everything, or you're a ministry leader, right? Look, you've got these traits already. And we know what those traits of successful professionals are. People who are successful, first of all, they're coachable and they value mentorship, right? They know that they need to learn from other people in order to get to a higher level of whatever that higher level is, right? Also, successful professionals don't sit around and mill over things for very long. They learn what the truth is, and then they take quick action and they implement and they make changes in their lives. Also, successful professionals are focused on the progress, not on perfection. And that's very important because guess what? None of us are perfect. I was not perfect when I was going through my healing journey, yet I am considered 95% healed right now. And so, yes, you can absolutely do this. It's just a process that you're walking through. And then finally, successful professionals, they are committed to whatever their goals are, and they don't quit on their goals. And that is very, very important. Now, we can stumble, we can fall, we can screw up our diet, we can mess up on a regular basis, but if we're committed and we keep learning how to change the way we live our lives, we will get better and better at it, and our health will give us great results. I want you to know that you absolutely can do this. If I can do it, I was the worst junk food junkie that there was. That's the truth, okay? That is the solid truth. And, I thought I could never lose 100 pounds and get better, but I did. And so can you. I'm here to tell you, and you know that this is true, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You are not doing this alone. Oh, look at this picture. This is what the inside of your cells probably look like right now. Do you think that there's a problem? Do you think that you probably need to clean some of this mess up? Yep. And our testing will prove this to you, just how crazy things are inside of yourselves right now. Here's just another piece of evidence that I just want to show you. This is hyperinsulinemia acts via acinar insulin receptors to initiate pancreatic cancer by increasing digestive enzyme production and inflammation. Okay, I know I just said a mouthful, but what it really means is that the reason why we have such an epidemic of cancer is because of this metabolic dysfunction that 88% of you out there are suffering with right now, and you're just allowing it to continue because you don't know how to fix it. And you've never had anyone, a scientist like me or a doctor or anyone sit in front of you and tell you that this whole metabolic dysfunction and the genetic problem that you're dealing with is fixable. You don't have to worry about cancer and just let it happen. You don't have to live with metabolic dysfunction. You can absolutely do something about it right now with the latest science. You really can totally rewrite your health story, just like I did. And I want to tell you about Jacqueline. Jacqueline is another one of our clients, and she says, imagine getting your life back. She says, I was sick my entire life, but Dory found my root causes affordably, and I only wish I had found her sooner. She says, don't wait, do this now. And she's right. There is no reason to wait. So before, right now, you don't really know what's happening at the cellular level. You don't know what's happening at the genetic level. And you're thinking, well, why is my body giving me all these symptoms of the brain fog and the loss of energy and all the pain and all the craziness, the thyroid disease, the chronic issues, right? Okay, but after you can be in control, you absolutely can fix this. And how do you do it? You do it with comprehensive testing. Okay, so what I would like to offer you today is the very first step of the testing that you need, and that is a comprehensive genetics panel and a complete root cause evaluation. So we can start identifying all that mess that's inside of yourselves. And our comprehensive genetics panel that we do here has over 36 different genetic pathways and over 157 different genetic mutations that we know scientifically are linked with chronic illness. And we know that we can take effective action to help these issues. So this is not just a genetic panel that's going to tell you why you have blonde hair. This is a very specific genetic panel that has Dr. Jeffrey Bland on the scientific advisory board of this company, because it's such an awesome company. And literally, we are looking very specifically at those particular genes that you can do something about. You can start having different genetic expression within 24 hours of learning your genes and how to affect their expression. That is a game changer. This is where everyone needs to start. So let's look at everything that's involved with a comprehensive genetics panel. First of all, it's using the latest nutrigenomic and epigenetic science that I was telling you about. It's going to give you very personalized nutrition, lifestyle, and supplements so that you can take action and actually do something at the bottom line level. It's going to give you a full 32-page targeted report that, yes, we're going to go over with you. We're going to teach you what it all means and help you to follow it. Then it's including all of the chronic illness linked genetic mutations that we know of scientifically, including all of your essential nutrients, your methylation and your inflammation factors, your detoxification and your oxidative stress factors, your mood, behavior, memory, and brain neurochemicals, your glucose and insulin factors, your metabolic and mitochondrial factors, your hormone factors, your histamine overload factors. I'm still going, folks. Your collagen, joint, and bone health factors, your heart, vascular, blood pressure, and cholesterol factors, your weight management, your appetite and satiety factors, your exercise response, power, endurance, and injury factors, and still your gluten, caffeine, and fatty acids factors. This is everything that science knows to date in how to change the way your genes are expressing and how to create optimal health at the genetic and cellular level. This is what you need to feel better. Now, the value of this is about $1,500, but don't worry, we're not going to charge you that. We're going to give you a really cool deal today that I think you're really going to love, okay? But on top of that whole genetics panel, you're also going to get your full root cause evaluation with me and my team. And this is a 60-minute root cause evaluation. We're going to use a unique root cause questionnaire. And that questionnaire was actually put together by millions of dollars of research. It's also going to give you a complete report with your next steps. And you can do this either virtually online or in our San Diego office. And the value of that all by itself is $597. But don't worry, I told you I was going to give you a really good deal today, but I want to give you some awesome bonuses as well. I want to sit down and go over with you some of your previous tests that you've had done. Now, whether you've had functional testing done or whether you've just had conventional testing, it doesn't matter. We're scientists here, and we love analyzing your data and putting together everything that we see, all of your missing puzzle pieces, so we can help you to identify those root causes so you can take specific action. Now, that all by itself takes at least a couple of hours, and the value of that is $597. But then we also want to give you our step-by-step transformation training. Again, this is a program, a training program that we have sold online for just about $500 in the past, but we want to give this to you for free. Also, we want to give you a special program with our full script supplements that actually gives you a 10% discount on anything that you need, not just supplements, but also a lot of excellent non-toxic and organic personal care products. And that's limitless value. You can use that for the rest of your life. And so the total value of the genetics testing plus our root cause evaluation is over $3,500. But of course, we're not going to charge you that. But look at everything that we do during a full root cause analyzation. We're going to take your previous tests if you've got them. We're going to take just your genetics testing. We're going to take that root cause questionnaire that you fill out, and we're going to sit down and spend good time with you. And then we're going to be able to come up with a really good plan that talks about your nutritional deficiencies and where those are at, your metabolic indicators, your gastrointestinal health, your adrenal and hormonal health, your thyroid health, your toxic overload. But not only that, we're going to look into the factors and the symptoms that tell us that you may very well have some infections and biotoxins going on. We're going to look at all of your hormonal symptoms and factors as well. So this is quite literally, most people do not go into this depth, but we do here because we're scientists and we do things differently. We like the data. And so then we're going to give you an overall assessment of where your health is at, and then give you an action plan in how to move your ex, wherever it is, up to optimal health. And we do give you a 100% money back guarantee. We guarantee that when you do this genetic testing and this root cause evaluation, we will find your root causes and you will be amazed at what we find for you. And so when we're looking at the money that we need to spend on our health, I just want to show you a slide here. A couple of different articles that were put out by Yahoo Finance and Fortune magazine. Yahoo said in 2022, a staggering 5.2 billion with a B dollars was injected into over 130 different cellular regeneration and longevity companies. Wow. That's companies just like mine, okay? And all the research companies out there. This is awesome news for you because it tells you that there is a lot of research going on right now, and there is so much that we can do for you by using that latest science. And also, Fortune magazine came out with an article, and it says the global wellness economy was valued at $5.6 trillion with a T in 2022. And that's a 12% increase since 2020. Wow. Okay, wow. The global wellness economy is expected to rise to 8.5 trillion with a T by 2027. Now, why do you think that is? It's because people have to spend money now on their health because conventional medicine does not have the answers anymore. Now, okay, if you get in a car accident, you get hit by a truck, you break a leg, you have a heart attack, or you have the end results of some of these chronic diseases like heart disease and things like that. Sure, there are medications, there are surgeries, there are things that can help you in conventional medicine. The problem is we need real root cause healthcare in order to prevent those bad things from happening to you, especially as you age. And that's why billionaire investors are putting so much money into the latest science. Now, they would not be putting money here if it didn't really work, folks. So I hope that I've been able to convince you today that this is not woo-woo. This is not snake oil. This is not just people out there just trying to get your money. This is real science. And yes, you can do it affordably. And I'm about to prove that to you right now. So obviously, your health is your wealth, right? Because if you don't invest in your health when it's just starting to get out of whack, you're going to inevitably have to pay for your illness later on. That is a fact. So let's again look at everything that I want to give you in our comprehensive genetics testing. I'm not going to put the price off for too much longer here. I just want to make sure that I show it to you again so you know everything that you're getting. You're getting the latest nutrigenomic and epigenetic science with your personalized nutrition, lifestyle, and supplement action plan. Okay, you're going to be able to take this 32-page report and us teaching you how to use it, and you're going to be able to start making amazing positive changes in your health at the genetic and at the cellular level. It's the only place where it really counts, folks. Okay, so this is really where everyone should start. We're going to have a list of all of the chronic illness linked genetic mutations and SNPs that we know of, including your nutrients, your methylation, your inflammation, detoxification, oxidative stress, mood, behavior, memory, brain neurochemicals, glucose and insulin, metabolic and mitochondria, hormone balance, histamine overload. Let me take a breath. Collagen, joint and bone health, heart, vascular, blood pressure and cholesterol, weight management, appetite, satiety, exercise response, power, endurance, injury, gluten, caffeine, fatty acids, okay? I mean, it's everything that you need to make positive changes in your health at the genetic and the cellular level. And the value of that is $1,500. But remember, we're also going to give you that root cause evaluation package, right? We're going to give you a complete report. We're going to sit down and talk to you about that. We're going to go over all your past tests with you and gather that data and figure out where your missing puzzle pieces are and why you've been trying all these different things all over the internet, but you're still not feeling where you think you should be feeling. It's because you're missing things. And scientists like me, that's our job. We're medical detectives and we're here to find those things for you. And we're going to give you that step-by-step transformation training. We're going to give you 10% off of your full script supplements and all of your personal care needs for life. And this entire package that I have for you today is truly worth over $3,500. But today, I'm going to give it to you for only $597. And folks, I'm here to tell you that is a steal. You will not find this deal anywhere else. I can guarantee you. I'm paying almost that much just for the testing for you itself. So we're really, as a company here, as a mission, we're not making money on this. What we're doing is helping you to understand that you can get started, and then hopefully you will do more work with us, and it will also be very affordable for you as well. And so if you're ready to order your full root cause evaluation package with your genetics testing, and you're ready to start working at the bottom line cellular and genetic level to help yourself feel better and make dramatic changes in your health, then all you have to do is click the button below this video that says, yes, I'm ready to feel better. You can also take a picture of the little barcode there, and it will also get you to the right place. Now, I want to ask you, if you're still sitting on the fence about this, which I would shake my head about because, everybody needs this and no one's offering it at this price, no one. So I just want to ask you, what is your vibrant energy and your future illness prevention? What is that worth to you? Right? And I know that all of us value our energy. All of us want to have amazing energy, and all of us never want to have terrible diseases. We don't want to have to take insulin, and we don't want to take our pharmaceuticals. We don't want to have cancer. We don't want to have heart disease. We don't want to suffer with these things. So I know what it's worth to you already. But what I want to ask you is, and I want to prompt you to think about this. If you're on the fence about spending this little bit of money to really make a difference in your health, I want you to think back to the last time that you took your family out, like if you're eating out regularly, or, maybe you go out and you make purchases for clothing or, household items or whatever you're doing, right? Now, in the last month, if you think of all of that, how many of those expenses can you put into your health instead? Yeah, I'm sure that there's some, and it would be the best thing for you. It would be the best place to put your money. So you probably spent enough money on things that you probably didn't really need as much as your health, at least, right? And so by now, you could have taken that money and you could have a game plan for fixing your root causes at this point. In other words, you could take that money and you could have some of your health issues solved by now. And when I say solved, I mean finding those root causes and actually taking action, learning how to do something about them so that over time you can create dramatic health changes. Again, this is not a quick fix, but it does work. Okay. And so I want to ask you, which would you rather have? Would you rather have those things that you spent the money on that are not as important as your health? Or would you rather have this awesome game plan and knowing that you're actually taking better care of yourself and you're actually making changes at the genetic and cellular level every single day? And I think I know what your answer is, of course, right? So then let me tell you about another awesome client of mine. She says, Dory in her program gave me answers when I was told there were none. Dory gave me hope when I was told I was hopeless. And best of all, Dory gave me support when others walked away. And I think what Pam says here is just, this is priceless, folks. When you learn how to take care of your health and you learn how to actually do it yourself, it's priceless. It really, really is. And here's another one of our clients. She says, I absolutely love Dory's confidence in finding our root causes, and I trust her knowledge to get my vibrant health back. I used to feel very negative about my illness, but Dory's bright and positive personality always helps me stay hopeful. I feel blessed to be working on my root causes. That's it. And I no longer feel like a victim of autoimmune disease. Did you see that? She no longer feels like a victim of her disease. This is priceless. This is priceless. And here's another one of our clients. She said, Dory has been blessed with a tremendous gift from God as a medical detective. She's kind and compassionate and has always been there for me throughout my healing journey. God bless you, Dory. And God bless you, Lindsay. I love her. And, we love all of our clients here. We are a Christian mission here. We welcome all faiths and all beliefs. And we just want to bring you into a beautiful program here and really help you to make dramatic changes in your health and give you that expert guidance that you need, give you that loving accountability that you need, right? That we all need. None of us can do this alone. And so let's get started together today. You can go ahead and order your root cause evaluation with your complete genetics package. Within about 3 weeks, we're going to have your answers. So we're going to be able to sit down and really start making you the CEO of your own health. So all you have to do is click that button below that says, yes, I'm ready to feel better, or you can take a picture of the little scan doohickey there, and it'll take you to the same place. And I want to remind you, what you've been doing so far is not enough. What you've been doing so far is a lot of old school dogma, symptom-based care, big pharma required. It has side effects that you know of. It causes cellular damage and genetic damage and tissue damage and brain damage. It causes higher inflammation over time. You feel labeled, you feel stuck, you feel incurable, and I'm sure you've actually been told that you're incurable. And you feel confused as to how to fix this on a day-to-day basis, and you keep being limited by your symptoms, and your symptoms keep cropping up and taking control of your life. And over time, you feel worse and you just completely feel out of control. But there is a better way. You can use the new science now, and it is affordable. You can do this. You really, really can. We also have medical funding for people as well. And so if you need that, I'm going to give you some information at the end that you can call our office and really let us help you. There are so many ways to get your health back and get this paid for. And yeah, it really is. It's attainable, it's affordable. You sure can do this. And you don't want to do it this way anymore. You really want to do it with the new precision science. You have to be working at the root cause level. There is no other way to feel better. You need to learn how to remove your pharma safely. You need to learn how to up-level your energy, to improve your brain and your cognition, to enhance your mood, to regenerate your cells, to improve that epigenetic and genetic functioning, to create new tissues. You can actually create new cells and tissues in your body with the new science. That's incredible. That's what we can do for you here. You can lower your inflammation. You can reverse your biological age. You can reduce your disease risk and your cancer risk. You can have greater strength, not just physical strength, but I mean emotional strength. I mean joy, purpose, being in complete control of your health. This is what I've been able to do. This is what thousands and thousands of people all around the world have been able to do. And it's just a much better way to live, a much better way to live. So I want to remind you, and I am your coach, and I am your motivator, and I will be honest with you in a loving way. And the truth is that if you don't take action, you can't expect to see changes in your life, you know? If you get a gym membership, but you never go and lift those weights, and you never take action, you will not see a change, right? And so it's the same now. There are new ways that you can take control of your health, and they really do work. People get an average of 50 to 80% better in these programs. And that is the truth. And hey, I'll take 50% better, right? I'm actually 95% better because I'm super diligent, and I'm not perfect, but you know, I do the best that I can. And most people are wildly satisfied with the results that they get from working with the latest science and just learning how to work at the root cause level. It really is amazing. And so I want to help you to take the action today just to get started at the genetic and the cellular level. And I promise you that you'll be satisfied when you do. So go ahead, click that link below, or take a little picture of the scanner doohickey there. Sign up for this. It's going to be an amazing decision. I want you to dream, and I want you to achieve. You really can feel better. Precision healthcare and the latest science, it really did save my life. I'm here talking to you today because of what the Lord showed me. And this is real, it's powerful, and you really can use it affordably. So go ahead, click the link below, grab that package, and I will look forward to seeing you and meeting you and talking to you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.